Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to RimWorld Ye Olde Knights, episode 16. Today, my friends, I bring you a tale of technology. That's right, we're going to be researching some interesting technologies today. Wait and see. Now, before we jump into the technology, I want to mention a mod that I have added. It's called Flags and Banners Continued. This mod will be adding some beautiful banners that we will be displaying around our keep. Our new banners will be displayed proudly at the keep and every other territory that we control. These banners and flags will truly be a symbol of hope, peace, justice, and a little bit of conquering. Yeah, just a little bit. Every good empire has a little bit of blood on its hands. Now, as you'll see, we're making some special metal balls to fire out the new technology that we're researching. That's right, I am introducing another new mod today called Not Only Just a Cannon. So this is a re-upload of this mod that's going to add some cannons to our game. Now, I do know it's a little bit late to be introducing some simple technology like this into the game, but there's some, better cannons and whatnot that I think will help us out quite a bit when we actually raid the Empire. So, what I'd like to try and do today is make some of the more simple, stupid cannons and use some of those on some enemies to see how they do. A bit of a test, if you will. It took a little while, but we finally researched the most simple of all the cannons. It was just basically a metal barrel strapped to some wood with wheels. You light the end of it, it goes boom. You know how a cannon works. So I believe what we'll do is we'll build a couple of these simple cannons, we'll load them up on the backs of our Muffalo, and then we'll trot off to attack somebody with them. But not only did I want to go out and just randomly attack some hunting worksite or something, I also wanted to do a bit of trading with our Outlander compadres. We have plenty of components and other junk like that to load up on our Muffalo with the cannons to try and sell and make a quick buck. We must be willing to do whatever we can to fund this war against the Empire. We need silver and lots of it. We finished gathering our supplies and sent Lagua out with his reapers. We found a very unlucky group of hunters at a local hunting worksite just next to the Outlanders. But unfortunately, on the way to attack this local hunting worksite, we had the perfect targets come right to us. We had a very small group of feral raiders. I don't know if it was a scouting party or what. There were hardly any of them. They were coming to try and kill us, I suppose. We began throwing rocks at them and firing mortar shells at them. I believe that this small party may indeed be a scouting party, though. There could be a much, much larger feral raid to come. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Right now, we have plenty of foolish little ferals who need smoked right out there in the snowy fields. We fired mortars and we missed for the most part. But anyhow, they ended up coming to try and kill us, and the fools obviously tried to go through our murder hallway, and they ended up dying. All except for one rascally fellow who got away to tell the other ferals what happened here. That could be a problem, but we'll deal with the ferals later. Right now, we have a hunting worksite to raid and test our new cannons on. We arrived at the hunting worksite, and there were only about 4 hunters there and 2 wooden shacks. It wasn't anything too impressive, and we could easily go in and murder everyone and take all their food. However, we do want to test out our cannons, so we sat those down and began loading them with cannonballs. As we loaded our cannons, the enemy began running towards us with their clubs and whatnot, and then we fired. And I'm pretty sure we missed both times. Even though they were very destructive and made a big kaboom sound, we ended up missing. We couldn't get a clear shot, but you could probably tell what would happen if we did. So what have we learned here today with the cannons? Well, they're highly inaccurate, but extremely destructive, so they would be perfect for raids when we have dense groups of enemies coming at us. And keep in mind, these are the most simple of cannons in the mod. Now, back at home at the keep, we ended up having a large manhunting group of elephants coming to kill us. The elephants began charging at our keep and ended up going through the murder hallway. Unfortunately for the elephants, this went about as well as you would think. Oh, those poor dumb animals. After all the elephants were dead, Weaves whipped up a nice set of Plasteel Knight's armor for Lumi. Yes, it is finally Lumi's time to shine. We are going to honor him with a new set of armor and some weapons. You guys know the drill by now, though. Lumi approached the king pulled out the plasma sword, tapped him lightly on each shoulder, put the sword away, and now Lumi could don the new Plasteel armor, the Devil Strand scarf, etc., etc. As of right now, I'm not giving Lumi any title, such as Beastmaster or something like that, like we did with Brex, the Boar Master, more like, of course. But if you guys have any ideas for that you'd like to see, be sure to let me know, and we may do something like that. We ended up giving Lumi a really kick-ass sword with some art on it depicting the tale of some ancient warmonger murdering and slaughtering his enemies. So this sword was naturally called the War God. It was not that exact sword, but simply a recreation of it. It was beautiful, and I thought it a nice honorary weapon for his new position, perhaps. Oh yeah, and I also gave him another assault rifle. So Lumi wears plasteel armor and dual wields assault rifles. You could say he's pretty, cool. Not only have we been buying some really cool swords and whatnot for Lumi, but we also bought a relic, so the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. To my understanding, it's a great big holy relic that will make a great big explosion when we use it, perfect for the war against the Empire. And there's plenty more where that came from. The Outlanders sell a lot of these ancient relics and weapons. A little bit later, and we had the largest feral raid at our doorstep that we had ever encountered. It turns out that small group of ferals earlier on in the episode was indeed a scouting party, and the one person who got away seems to have alerted them. But that was quite alright, though. It would be the perfect opportunity to utilize our new cannon technology. So we loaded up our cannons just outside where the ferals were camping out and began to fire upon them. We scrambled to grab our big metal balls and stuff them into our little cannons, and we began lighting the ends of them, and boom, they fired and slammed right into the ferals. We fired our cannons at the ferals for hours on end. Even through the night in the icy cold, we still fired and fired and fired, hoping to kill as many as we could before they ultimately came to the base to try and raid us. We got a few lucky shots in, but those ogres were tough as hell. The ferals got pissed off about all the cannon fire and began attacking us. As the ferals chased us through the icy night, we packed up our cannons and ran all the way back to the keep. A few of those filthy feral mutts of theirs almost caught us by the door as we were firing upon them, but managed to make it inside safe before they could catch us. Oh, those filthy inbred doggos. All the inbred doggos, inbred ferals, and inbred ogres, and so on and so forth, tried to come through our murder hallway. We thought this the perfect opportunity to start throwing some big old rocks at them. But like I said before, those ogres were tough. Even some massive rocks being slung at their heads hardly done any damage. They were still coming through that murder hallway. It's so tight in those corners with their shoulders just hitting each side. They were massive. They realized they were going to die if they got to the end of the murder hallway, so they started busting down our doors and they were about to invade our base. But thank the gods, Galro came running with some quicklime pitch to light the ogres on fire while everyone else shot at them. And thus we had finally withstood the feral raid. We couldn't leave any survivors this time to run back home to the feral base and tell them what had happened, so we hunted them all down, ogres, ferals, anyone we could, and we began killing them. As we hunted them all down, King George shouted, "Give your enemies no quarter," and thus we did not. We ended up taking one of the ferals as a prisoner, though. He would make a wonderful addition to either the Reapers or Black Knights Guild. Most likely the Reapers, though. We have 6 Reapers and 8 Black Knights, so we need to even it out a little. Now, by this point, I'm sure the leaders of the feral faction are just waiting on their massive raiding party to come home with all of our heads and whatnot. So instead, I'm going to give them a little bit of a message. No doubt they have eyes pointed towards our keep to see what's happening. So, I'm going to give them something they won't be able to miss. I'm going to light the largest corpse fire this side of the planet has ever seen. Fueled by the corpses of our would-be feral usurpers. Oh yes, that is right. Smell the stench of your brethren burning. And let this massive corpse fire be a signal not only to the ferals, but also to the Ash Scythes pirates, as well as the Empire, of what we are truly capable of. We were no longer a small medieval house, we were now an empire to be reckoned with. And to demonstrate this to you, I've decided to create a massive weapon called the Dragonator from the mod that the cannons came from as well. How powerful is this weapon? Allow me to show you. Wait a minute. What's this? Oh, okay, whoa, the Dragonator will have to wait. We're getting a marriage. Oh my god, it's Lumi and Cambiar's marriage. The Dragonator can wait. We have love to attend to. For whatever reason, the two of them decided to get married in our war room, maybe to symbolize that love is a battlefield or marriage is a war. I'm not really sure, but it was a beautiful ceremony. But anyway, back to the Dragonator. We would need to find a suitable test subject, possibly a massive mega sloth. Yes, unfortunately, we do not have any dragons available to test this on, so we'll have to settle for a mega sloth. How well will our new weapon do against a mighty mega sloth? Well, I'll let this clip speak for itself. Right, wasn't that very powerful? This is a really good weapon, extremely short range to kind of even it out, but really powerful. Sometime later though, I realized that our feral raiders in their deaths had left quite a few weapons and drugs. So I thought to myself, who loves weapons and drugs more than our Outlander allies? This would be the perfect opportunity to load all of this stuff up onto our Muffalo and take it off to sell it to them. So to which we did. We loaded all that junk up on our Muffalo and began to go out and trade with our Outlander allies to see also if maybe they had some legendary weapons or relics or something that could assist us in our war against the Empire. It took quite a while, the long and treacherous trip, although we didn't really run into any enemies or anything, or stop to raid any local hunting work sites. Once we arrived, we found a legendary weapon called a Fragment of Mjolnir, the legendary hammer wielded by Thor. We also found a stone skin gland that we could install on a colonist. Back home at the keep, we also finally recruited that feral that we took prisoner. Then, after our caravan returned home, we brought Shark and Galro into the throne room to finally honor them for their service to the crown. So, just as we had with our other nobility, we gave Galro a beautiful and powerful set of plasteel knight's armor with a plasteel helmet to match and a devil strand scarf. Unfortunately, we did not have a legendary weapon for her from the trip, but we did have one for Shark, and we could give Galro his legendary bandit hammer that we had gave him previously. So, of course, for his years of service, legendary service I might add, to the crown as the leader of the Black Knights Guild, we gave Shark the Fragment of Mjolnir, a truly powerful weapon. Said to possibly even be able to conjure lightning from the sky. Well, I highly doubt that, but I guess we'll find out. I do know, however, it would be great for bashing in skulls. Just after that, though, we brought Brex into Ye Olde Hospital room and began installing the stone skin gland into, well, I guess her skin. I'm not sure how this procedure goes, but luckily it went off without a hitch and it was installed. But I hear you say, Rat Knight, why should I give a shit if you install a stone skin gland onto Brex? Well, my dear, loyal, loving viewer, allow me to show you. Look at these stats. Correct, look at them, yes. And now take a look at these from someone wearing Prestige Cataphract armor. They are essentially on par with the Prestige Cataphract armor, thus making her very powerful. So essentially the best way to think about it is, imagine the battle with the Empire we had previously where we still managed to wreck a small settlement with minimal casualties for the most part. We did lose 2 of our Black Knights, but the Black Knight's armor isn't exactly crazy up to par with the plasteel armor of Brex and the others. So, with Brex, we are able to achieve with all of this, it did take a lot, stone skin gland, all this plasteel armor, royal plated boots, all this stuff, we are able to achieve on parness with Prestige Cataphract armor. In blunt and heat, we actually beat the stat that we've seen there with the Prestige Cataphract armor. We're just missing the sharp, right? So we're able to pretty well get up to that standard though, just by doing that. And we have plenty of silver, we have plenty of weapons to trade. We could continue trying to do this and getting this for a few of our other members, even the Black Knights and people like that eventually. We, I think, will be able to dominate the Empire at some point. I don't want to take on the full settlement, massive settlements right now. We'll probably try to take on some smaller ones still, not too small, but a little bigger in the future, and try to do that up until the point that we're able to just totally conquer them. Our cannons will help out a lot. The Dragonators will be able to build will help out a lot. We are finally a massive empire at this point. But I would like to thank you guys for all your support, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting this series, the videos, the channel, supporting me in general. You guys absolutely are wonderful. You mean the world to me, you truly do, and I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.